Limitations for Vegans and Vegetarians on West Campus by Aniket and Sanket.
Georgia Tech is a very diverse community. Part of its diversity is people who are vegan and vegetarian, who find that many of the dining areas consist of few vegan and vegetarian options. An example is the West Village, one of the newest dining areas constructed. Although it contains a wide variety of stalls with several food options, each stall only has a couple vegan and vegetarian options. To add to this constraint for vegans and vegetarians, during the summer semester when meal swipes can be used to save money, only a select few stalls allow for the use of meal swipes, further limiting affordable options for vegans and vegetarians. Being a strict vegetarian, what do you think about the variety of vegan and vegetarian food offered at the West Village?
The West Village has a very limited vegetarian and vegan variety. Mostly, I only have a set selection to opt for when I decide to dine at any of the available outlets at West Village. Also, as a non-vegetarian, the food choices are all the more diminutive. There is usually no dessert that accommodates my food restrictions.
Here are two examples of food stalls within West Village. The picture on the left shows the only breakfast stall within West Village, and the only true vegan and strict vegetarian meal happens to be the tofu scramble. The right picture shows one of the main lunch and dinner stalls within West Village. Once again, the only vegan and strict vegetarian meal happens to be the fire-roasted vegetables on ciabatta. Therefore, both of these stalls show the lack of diversity in terms of food for vegans and vegetarians who happen to live on the West Campus.
Of course, there are some alternatives to eating at West Village for vegans and vegetarians living on West Housing. One alternative is to grab food at the Student Center. However, the restaurants such as Chick-fil-A, Panda Express, and Subway, which do offer many vegetarian alternatives, do not accept meal swipes, causing students to have to actually pay for it through dining dollars or cash. In addition, the only restaurants that actually accept meal swipes in the Student Center also do not have a variety of vegan and vegetarian alternatives.
Another alternative for students living on West Campus would be to take a trip to North Ave, as they have a much greater variety of food in general, including vegan and vegetarian meals, all for just one meal swipe. However, the biggest limitation with this alternative is the incredibly long walk for students from West Campus all the way to North Ave, which would usually take about 20 to 25 minutes, and which would be hard to make for busy students who do not happen to have a lot of free time due to extracurricular activities or homework.
Would you rather prefer more vegetarian and vegan options added to each of the stalls at West Village, or a brand new stall with only vegetarian and vegan options?
I would definitely want more vegetarian options to be added to each of the existing outlets. This would ensure a greater variety in food, I guess. An exclusive stall would not be very broad in its offerings. Even if the menu is changed every day, the food would be mostly similar in terms of flavor, cuisine, techniques evolved, etc.
The most obvious way to alleviate the issue for vegans and vegetarians at West Village would be to encourage Georgia Tech to allocate some funding for the inclusion of more vegan and vegetarian options at certain stalls within the area, especially ones that accept meal swipes. This will allow for all areas to feature more vegan and vegetarian options without having students either travel long distances or spend too much money through dining dollars for more options. In addition, the increased amount of money that the school collects from vegan and vegetarian customers can be utilized to fund even more food within stalls to further increase the diversity of foods within West Village for vegans and vegetarians.
The university also has the option of building a brand new stall with only vegan and vegetarian options in all the dining areas, either in addition to the previous solution or instead of the previous solution. Although this may require more funding, it will ultimately benefit vegans and vegetarians more, as they will not have to worry about minute details such as possible non-vegetarian basic ingredients being used for vegetarian options, such as sauce and workers using the same gloves for non-vegetarian and vegetarian food items. After all, vegan and vegetarian options are open to all customers as a healthier alternative to non-vegetarian options. So either solution will only benefit everyone in the long run.
A third solution for vegans and vegetarians living on West Campus would be for the university to scope out vegan and vegetarian restaurants, or at least restaurants that offer a variety of vegan and vegetarian meals that are near campus, and also encourage the university to fund transportation such as buses designed specifically to travel to these restaurants for vegans and vegetarians, helping students who do not have the time to travel by foot to arrive at these restaurants much more quickly. The school could also look into funding the creation of an application that would be able to list out all of the vegan and vegetarian restaurants within a 3-mile radius of campus for students who would be willing to travel by themselves, or to make it easier for buses to scope them out.
Do you think that any other changes are necessary in order for vegans and vegetarians to have more and better food options?
I think I'd like to have a greater number of dishes without eggs. I mean, especially breads, noodles, desserts, those ones, yeah.